time
automatically or
automatically.
okay?
Sir, in terms of using technology, Dr. Anurag Agarwal is a pioneer in most of the UP colleges. He has been a pioneer in using technology. He always uses technology available. Most of the central universities and IITs, they are using Zoom with only 100 capacity, but he uses Zoom with 500 capacity.
It is for blessings of Swami Chinmayanand Ji Maharaj.
Truly, obviously. He has received all the support from all the top management. The type of autonomy that he enjoys in his organization, that is marvelous.
Divyan, slides allow, welcome to.
Okay, sir.
Powerful education.
Good. This is the right up. Okay, John.
आनंद मंगल मंगलम जय जयति शिक्षा संकुलम हरे सरे गा रे सरे गा रे गा मा गा रे गा मा पा मा गा मा पा मा पा गा गा पा मा पा गा नी नी दा पा दा नी सा नी दा नी सा नी रे सा नी दा नी दा पा गा मा गा रे गा रे सा आनंद मंगल मंगलम जय जयति शिक्षा संकुलम
And
एसएस कॉलेज के प्रिंसिपल डॉक्टर ए.के. मिश्रा साहब भी हमसे कनेक्ट हो चुके हैं। मेरठ कॉलेज से, डीएन कॉलेज से प्रोफेसर एस.के. अग्रवाल साहब, बरेली कॉलेज से कई प्रोफेसर्स, हमारे रूटा के सेक्रेटरी भी दिखाई दे रहे हैं, सिंह साहब। आप सभी लोगों का हार्दिक स्वागत और अभिनंदन है इस अंतर्राष्ट्रीय वेबिनार में। वेबिनार को हम लोग प्रारंभ करने के लिए मिस ब्रजलाली से मैं अनुरोध करूंगा कि वो इसकी एंकरिंग करेंगी। मिस ब्रजलाली।
Thank you, sir.
जी।
Hello everyone. Hi, I am Rich. I cordially welcome you all in this 2 days international webinar on impact of COVID-19 on global economy, jointly organized by Swami Shukdevanand Postgraduate College, Shahjahanpur, India, and Novel Academy, Pokhara from Nepal. Here, first of all, to start this session, I would request to Dr. A.K. Mishra, sir, Principal of Swami Shukdevanand Postgraduate College and co-convener of this program, Honorable Dr. Anurag Agrawal, sir, for the flooring to Swami Shukdevanand Saraswati ji.
जी ब्रजलाली जी, हमारे चीफ गेस्ट भी हमसे कनेक्ट हो चुके हैं, प्रोफेसर जी.सी. त्रिपाठी साहब। मैं उनका वेलकम करता हूँ, सर को प्रणाम करता हूँ।
Here, now, I would request to please play the Saraswati Vandana song to the host.
सरस्वती वंदना।
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्द्या श्यामा पातु सरस्वती भगवती
परम श्रद्धेय स्वामी चिन्मयानंद जी महाराज भी हमारे साथ हैं। उनके श्री चरणों में सादर नमन करता हूँ। उनके आशीर्वाद से ही आज ये कार्यक्रम संपन्न हो पा रहा है। उन्हीं की प्रेरणा के परिणाम स्वरूप आज ये कार्यक्रम समन्वित हो पा रहा है, संचालित हो पा रहा है। उनके श्री चरणों में पुनः पुनः शत शत नमन, शत शत प्रणाम। जी ब्रजलाल जी।
Here, I would request
हेलो। हाँ,
to Dr. Anurag Agrawal, sir, to please introduce about his college and provide the welcome speech of this international webinar session. Dr. Anurag Agrawal, sir, is also the organizing secretary of this international webinar and is also the head of Department of Commerce and Research Studies in Swami Shukdevanand Postgraduate College. Here, once again, I am requesting to Dr. Anurag Agrawal sir to please provide the introduction about his college and the welcome speech to our honorable guests.
Good evening to all and good afternoon to all. It is honor and privilege for me to welcome you on behalf of Faculty of Commerce, Swami Shukdevanand PG College, Shahjahanpur, UP, India, to this 2 days international webinar, which is organized in academic collaboration with Novel Academy, Nepal. Swami Shukdevanand PG College is a prestigious college of India founded by His Holiness Swami Shukdevanand Saraswati Ji Maharaj in 1964. It is a part of Mumukshu Shiksha Sankul. Mumukshu Shiksha Sankul consists 6 colleges and schools. These are Little Einstein Preschool, Shri Shankar Moksha Vidyapeeth, Swami Dharmanand Saraswati Inter College, Devi Sampat Sanskrit Mahavidyalaya, Swami Shukdevanand Postgraduate College, and Swami Shukdevanand Law College. Our Swami Shukdevanand PG College is operating with 5 faculties: Commerce and Management, Science, Education, Arts, and Computer Science, with more than 150 faculty members and above than 4,000 students. Other than these, Indira Gandhi National Open University and Uttar Pradesh Rajashri Tandon Open University Study Center are also running in the college campus. The NCC and NSS unit of the college have been doing commendable well in urging the national spirit as well as social awareness among the youth of society. Faculty of Commerce was established in 1985 with BCom course. At present, MCom, BBA, BCom Honors, and BCom Finance courses are running in the faculty. Faculty also operating Indira Gandhi Study Center funded by UGC and UG Diploma in E-Commerce sponsored by UGC. More than 1,000 students and 17 faculty members are working in the Faculty of Commerce. Faculty of Commerce has been Faculty of Commerce has been organized 9 international seminars in India and 2 in abroad, and above than 50 national seminars and workshops on emerging topics. Faculty of Commerce has been signed MOU with various foreign universities like USA, Bhutan, Philippines, Nepal, etc. Today, our collaborator is Novel Academy, Nepal. It is a prestigious college of Nepal, Pokhara, established in 2002. The institution offers a wide range of courses at both undergraduate and postgraduate level, like B Pharma, BBA, BSc, MBA, etc. Novel Academy organized job fair program in its premises in collaboration with the placement partners and corporate world. Novel Academy has signed MOUs with foreign universities like UK, USA, India, Australia, Bangladesh, Malaysia, Germany, and Oman for students and faculty exchange program. Noble graduates will get privilege to continue their further education in these universities with a special scholarship program. Now, firstly, I am welcome and thankful to Swami Chinmayanand Saraswati Ji Maharaj for his blessings for success the international webinar. I am delighted to welcome our chief guest, Professor G.C. Tripathi, Chairman, UP State Council of Higher Education, India, and guest of honor, Professor Hamid Sarim, Vice Chancellor, AIHE, Deemed University, Iran. I am also welcome to our resource persons today's session from Switzerland, Ethiopia, and Oman. I am especially welcome to Dr. B.N. Gupta from Ethiopia and Dr. Shad Ahmed Khan from Oman and Mr. Visheshwar Acharya from Nepal. for his cooperation and help to design this international webinar. I welcome to all the participants of India, Nepal, Ethiopia, Iran, Philippines, Switzerland, and other countries who participate in this international webinar. And finally, मैं परम पूज्य स्वामी श्री चिन्मयानंद जी के श्री चरणों में प्रणाम करते हुए नमन करता हूं उन्हें कि उनके आशीर्वाद से ही आज इस कार्यक्रम को हम मूर्त रूप दे सके। उन्हीं की कृपा से हम 9 अंतर्राष्ट्रीय वेबिनार शाहपुर जैसे छोटे से शहर में कर सके और उन्हीं की कृपा से अंतर्राष्ट्रीय वेबिनार आज आयोजित की जा रही है। उनकी कृपा से बहुत जल्दी हम लोग एक वेबिनार की श्रृंखला आयोजित करने का विचार कर रहे हैं, जिसमें कि 3 से अधिक इंटरनेशनल वेबिनार एक साथ आयोजित की जाएंगी और बहुत जल्दी 14 दिन का एक रिफ्रेशर कोर्स का प्रोग्राम भी प्लान कर रहे हैं, जो यूजीसी के द्वारा मान्यता प्राप्त होगा और हम लोग उसको जुलाई माह में कर सकेंगे। परम पूज्य स्वामी श्री चिन्मयानंद जी महाराज के श्री चरणों में प्रणाम करते हुए मैं अपनी बात यही समाप्त करता हूँ, अपनी वाणी को विराम देता हूँ और साथ ही साथ अपने प्राचार्य डॉक्टर ए के मिश्रा साहब को भी नमस्कार करता हूँ, उन्हें प्रणाम करता हूँ। उनका आशीर्वाद भी हमारे साथ है। दोनों के आशीर्वाद से मैं कुछ करने में समर्थ हो सका, उसके लिए मैं आप दोनों को नमन करता हूँ, पुनः प्रणाम करता हूँ।
Thank you, sir, for your kind address. Here, I would like to request our principal of Swami Shivanand Postgraduate College, Shahjahanpur, India, Dr. A. K. Mishra, sir, to give her speech in this international webinar.
Am I audible? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
sir, you are audible.
His Holiness, our source of inspiring, Param Pujya Swamiji Maharaj, the pattern of the seminar, Professor Girish Tripathi sir, eminent economist, academic leader, chairman, UP State Council of Higher Education, Professor Hamid Ansari, Iran, Dr. Visheshwar Acharya, Nobel Academy, Nepal, organizer, Dr. Anurag Agarwal ji, respected delegates, speaker, researcher, academician, and other distinguished participants from various countries. This is the 10th international seminar we are organizing with the co-association with the Nepal Nobel Academy, Nepal. And it is a proud privilege to our organization that Professor Girish Tripathi sir is with us today. The blessings of Swami Chinmayanand is with us today. The webinar have taken place due to the COVID-19 outbreak has affected around 230 countries around the world, forcing them to improve national-wise lockdown and to flatten the curve of shutting down business essentially, closing down of all economic activity. The WTO global trade would fall in the future between the 30 to 32%, giving a wide range of, because so much about the economic impact of health crisis was uncertain, and we are unable to know in which stage of COVID-19 we are running today. At the height of financial crisis, the trade dropped 12.5%, global trade total dropped. Falling commodity prices, decreasing tourism revenue, drop in foreign investment, and struggling stock market flashed the economy. According to the latest IMF forecast, the global economy is expected to shrink by 3%. Undoubtedly, India, which is a major country of South Asian countries, India rating and research has been further down for the financial year 2021. Gross domestic production forecast is 1.9% decrease, which will be the lowest GDP growth in the last 29 years. On the March 24, 2020, the government announced a relief package of 22 billion worth 10% of the GDP. include direct payment to farmers, senior citizens, widows, and disabled. The government has taken liquidity measures such as reduce repo rate and credit rate to induce around 63 billion in a system. During this period, the policies of the government from global to local, interdependence going to be changed as a self-dependent school college study closed and self-study throughout these ICTC measures are taking place. Migration and reverse migration. Migration has been converted to the reverse migration. By Vande Mataram mission, more than 175,000 persons came back to the India. Now it is a high time to discuss how we can face the pandemic of COVID-19 in world global economy. Our competitors in the international trade with the China, trade barriers are arising. Trade war is going to be in near future. High export, low import is a scenario of every country. In this context, I would like to all resource persons, eminent professors, researchers to discuss on this matter seriously so that we can reach to the for any fruitful results. Now, once again, I heartily welcome Professor Girish Tripathi sir, by which inspiration we are making the same webinar today. And परम पूज्य स्वामी चिन्मयानंद जी के श्री चरणों में प्रणाम निवेदित करते हुए इस अपनी बात को समाप्त करता हूं और इस कार्यक्रम की शुरुआत की अनुरोध करता हूं। डॉक्टर अनुराग अग्रवाल जी, ऑर्गेनाइजिंग सेक्रेटरी।
इस बीच हमारे मध्य में इथोपिया के स्कॉलर और विशेष रूप से भूपेंद्र नाथ गुप्ता जी भी हमें कनेक्ट हो चुके हैं, जुड़ चुके हैं, और यूजीसी दिल्ली से डॉक्टर अजय वर्मा जी भी कनेक्ट हो चुके हैं। मैं सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत और अभिनंदन करता हूं और ब्रजलाल जी से अनुरोध करता हूं कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाएं।
Thank you, sir. Here, I would like to request our inaugural session's Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Girish Tripathi, sir, to introduce his speech. But before inviting him, I would like to introduce about him. Professor Girish Tripathi, sir, is the professor in the Department of Economics in University of Allahabad, UP, and the chairman of Uttar Pradesh State Council of Higher Education and also the director of Agroeconomics Research Center. Honorable Chief Guest sir has done DPhil and his specialized subjects are economics, agriculture economics and monetary economics. Sir was also the former Vice Chancellor in Banaras Hindu University, a renowned university of India, and is also the member of Board of Governors in IIT Kanpur, India. Sir has published more than 24 research papers in national as well as international journals and also guided more than 24 scholars for DPhil and PhD degree candidates. Sir is also the member and chairperson of various academic bodies in a number of universities and institutions. Sir is also awarded with honoris causa by Ram Manohar Lohia Awadh University in Faridabad, UP, India, and is also awarded with honorary rank by Colonel in Indian Army in NCC, India. And Sir has also been visited many international countries like Belarus, Sweden, and Norway as the member of academic delegation of India under the esteemed leadership of Honorable ex-President Sir Mr. Pranab Mukherjee of India. Sir has also been participated as member of delegation in BRICS Network United program held in Russia in 2016 and in China. Sir has also been visited in University of Maryland, USA and the Fellow University in New York and also signed many MOUs and delivered many lectures there. I here warmly invite and request our Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Dr. Girish Tripathi sir, to inaugurate our this international webinar today's session.
नमस्कार।
sir.
परम पूज्य स्वामी जी महाराज के चरणों में मेरा सादर प्रणाम. At the very outset, I would like to congratulate Dr. A.K. Mishra and his team for organizing this international webinar on such a relevant and pertinent theme. This theme is not significant and relevant only for those who are going to participate and interact, but this is meaningful, relevant, and pertinent for intellectuals in all, policy makers, executors, and the governments of concerned countries. Dr. A.K. Mishra, Mr. Visheshwar Acharya ji, Dr. Anurag Agrawal ji, Dr. B.N. Gupta, Dr. Mario, Dr. Madhavan, Professor Ansari, and delegates from Ethiopia, Nepal, and other countries. I am thankful to Dr. Anurag Agrawal and Principal Dr. A.K. Mishra for providing me this opportunity to be with you and share some of my views on this relevant theme. My friends, this today humanity is being ravaged by COVID-19, a pandemic which has resulted in a great loss of lives and is having an immense detrimental effect on trade, employment, revenue, production, growth, and development. This negative trend of economic indicators like production, employment, revenue, and growth is visible in case of both developing as well as developed countries. USA, China, Russia, Spain, Italy, Germany, all are adversely affected, and a crisis of worldwide recession is now a reality. Indian economy is also included in this list of economies destined to suffer from negative trend in respect of growth and development. As per international surveys, global growth is expected to decline by 3 to 6% because of this breakdown of COVID-19 pandemic. The trade is also to be expected to decline from 13 to 32% because of this breakdown of this pandemic. This pandemic has its widespread impact. It has its impact not only on health sector and on issues related to health services. It has also affected society, social relations, politics, culture, and also issues related to science and technology. In India, on the basis of various surveys, our growth rate is expected to be negative. What will be the real impact is yet to be difficult to be estimated, because this we will be able to predict only when this pandemic arrives at peak. Near about 53 industries have adversely been affected, real estate, hotel, restaurant, tourism, civil aviation, and role of service and manufacturing sector has been adversely affected. About more than 11 crores of people have lost their jobs, and more than 45 lakhs of families would not earn even a single penny during the month of April. Our economy goes to suffer a loss of about 32 to 35,000 crores per day. As we know, the contribution of service sector in GDP is about 60%. And this service sector is adversely affected. And this effect of this COVID-19 is because of inability of workforce. And this inability will continue even this pandemic is over. As I've already said, the global decline in respect of growth is going to be 3 to 6%, with a slight recovery in 2021. But real effect of this COVID-19 will be estimated when this pandemic arrives at peak. We all know that shops and stores are closed. Roads have been barricaded. There is a ban on public gatherings. Millions of people have been infected, and many of them have lost their lives. We all know that this is a message from the side of nature, that we cannot examine these issues related to health and health services in isolation. Rather, we should have to develop a holistic approach. Our rishis and munis devoted their whole of lives to realize the truth and mystery behind this creation of God. And ultimately they succeeded. And on the basis of their realization, they tried to evolve a lifestyle, a social order, a political order, cultural values, where they could see a holistic approach to universe. Now, when this decline in global economy we are going to face, since Great Depression of 1930, this is the serious crisis the whole world is going to face. And now recession in near future has become a reality. This is not in case of only developed economies. This negative trend in respect of economic indicators like growth, employment, production, revenue is visible in case of developed as well as developing countries. Because supply and demand chain both have been affected. This COVID-19 pandemic started from China, and China, being the biggest player in world market, is going to affect markets of developing as well as developed countries. We all know that medication industry, air conditioners, smartphone, kitchen instruments, all are prepared on the basis of raw material made available by China. And China, being the greatest importer of oil, I think it is going to have its impact on oil industry also. Though we all know that oil industry may be a sector where some positive impact of this COVID-19 may be seen, because prices of oil have declined. But it will have its adverse impact on those countries who are exporters of oil. But the proportion of population constituted by export countries is less in comparison to the population proportion of countries who import this oil. So in totality, oil industry may be an industry where some positive impact of this COVID-19 may be seen. But as I have already said, manufacturing sector, service sector, hotels have been closed. And because of lockdown, in India, 80 to 90% industries have been closed. And economies all over the world, across the world, have come to a halt. And it has, of course, some vital changes. We know economic activities are being digitalized. Many companies have been adopting a practice of work from home. How long this economic halt will continue is a challenge before intellectuals. They will have to sort out these issues when this pandemic is over. We all know that most of the countries are going to follow the policy of protectionism, restriction policy. And therefore, we will have to find out ways and means to address these economic challenges within the economy itself. And for that, we have to make a strategic planning. This strategic planning is to be made in respect of finance, in respect of human resource, and also in respect of management, marketing, and efficiency. When we have to make this strategic planning, so there are some dimensions of strategic planning. What this strategic planning stands for. Therefore, we will have to define strategic planning first. This strategic planning has interpersonal as well as intrapersonal dimensions. When we say interpersonal, it means the vision of strategy, the values of strategy, and of course the mission that this strategic planning is going to convey to the factors of production. Intrapersonal means interaction with others, because we cannot live in isolation for a long time. Therefore, our strategy must be interacted with others. Not only this, we will have to declare, find out mandate of strategic planning, because this strategic planning has three dimensions. One is simple strategic planning, then complicate strategic planning, and complex strategic planning. And all these three types of strategic plannings are essential to manage the economy, to put the economy in order, and prepare economy for survival in this era of COVID-19 pandemic, and also survival of economy in post-pandemic era. So this pandemic has created a situation where decline in economic growth and development is heading global economy towards a situation of recession. In 1930, we witnessed decline in production, employment, growth, and development, and its impact was across the world. But since Great Depression in 1930, this outbreak of pandemic COVID-19 has created further a situation where world economy is heading towards recession. And this impact of COVID-19 will be more on trade. That is, emerging economies and developing economies. They will be adversely affected more in comparison to other economies. So this situation where crores and crores of people are reversely migrating has created a situation, a challenge of income generation, employment generation, and of course, generation of rural republic. We will have to rethink, revisit our policies and programs related to employment, production, growth, and development. And while revisiting, rethinking over the policies and programs related to production, employment, growth, and development, we will have to keep the vision, philosophy, and our approach towards universe. We know that it is essential to achieve growth and development. It is important, but more important is to sustain with growth and development over a period of time. Now, it's a challenge before policymakers and executors to have policies and programs to ensure sustainable growth and development. And this sustainable growth and development will be possible only when it is environment friendly. And now the time has come when India should take a lead and prepare a model of growth and development which is eco-friendly, sustainable, because our history, philosophy, vision, and approach towards universe has provided a base for growth and development models. Because we know that since the emergence of human beings on earth, we have our needs with us. And we on the basis of cooperation of constituents of nature used to fulfill our needs. But this was a model in which we used to have an approach which used to be eco-friendly, environment friendly. We protect nature and nature protects human beings. If we fail to understand this vision, philosophy, and approach towards the universe, then we may achieve growth and development, but this growth and development model will not be sustainable, as in case of global economy today. So we will have to cautious enough on the basis of breakdown of COVID-19 and prepare ourselves for further growth, further development, and a model of production and employment which will ensure sustainability of growth and development, at the same time protection of nature and constituents of nature. And this challenge is not before developing economies alone. In case of America, 6 crores of people have applied for bonus against unemployment. So this is the situation of developed countries who have achieved desired level of growth and development, but now it is being difficult for them to sustain with that achieved level of growth and development. So जैसा कि मैंने कहा, स्वामी जी हम लोगों के बीच में उपस्थित हैं। उनकी उपस्थिति में आज यह जो सेमिनार हो रहा है या जो वेबिनार हो रहा है, इस वेबिनार में आई एम श्योर दैट deliberations, interaction made by intellectuals, participants will provide us an opportunity on the basis of which we will arrive at paradigms which will not only ensure our survival during this breakdown of COVID-19, but also survival of humanity in post-pandemic era. So, मैं बहुत बहुत आभारी हूं डॉक्टर मिश्रा जी का, डॉक्टर अनुराग अग्रवाल जी का, और पुनः स्वामी जी के चरणों में मैं प्रणाम करना चाहूंगा कि मुझे एक ऐसा मौका मिला जब मैं आप लोगों के साथ एक ऐसे विषय पर चर्चा कर रहा हूं। जैसा कि मैंने कहा कि आज भारत के लिए इट्स एन अपॉर्चुनिटी, ऑफ कोर्स इट्स ए चैलेंज, बट दोज हु आर कैपेबल, कमिटेड, डिवोटेड, दे ऑलवेज translate challenges into opportunities, and on the basis of illicit collection of wisdom, we will arrive at paradigms. On the basis of these paradigms and our commitment, devotion towards nation as well as humanity, because Indian philosophy, the principle of Indian philosophy says this planet is a family. Whatever we think for this creation. हम केवल अपने बारे में विचार नहीं करते, हम पूरी सृष्टि के बारे में विचार करते हैं, और it is a challenge, but on the basis of Indian philosophy approach towards universe, I am sure the commitment which Indian Prime Minister has shown and our young Chief Minister Honorable Yogi Adityanath ji, on the basis of that, I am sure we will be able to translate these challenges into opportunities and will provide an economic model of growth and development, which will be, of course, a model for others also. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Guest, sir, for your such kind and informative words in this international webinar. A very true word sentence said by Honorable Chief Guest, sir, that India should lead the world in this pandemic situation, and also we must try all the possibilities to recover this economic crisis is now in the global. Here, now, taking forward this international webinar, I would like to request and invite our Honorable Patron and Chairman of SS College, Shahjahanpur, Swami Chinmayanand Maharaj, to introduce the session and to provide his honorable words of this session. But before inviting him, I would like to briefly introduce about him. Param Adarni Swami Chinmayanand Ji was the former Union Minister from Indian state of UP, and he was also the Minister of State for Internet Affairs in 3rd Vajpayee Ministry. He was also elected to 13th Lok Sabha from Jaunpur in UP as Bharatiya Janata Party candidate in 1999, and he was also the member of 10th Lok Sabha from Badaयूं in 1991 and from Machli Shahar in 1998. Here, I would like to request the patron Param Adarni Swami Chinmayanand Ji कि वे आशीर्वाद स्वरूप अपने 2 शब्द इस अंतर्राष्ट्रीय समारोह में व्यक्त करें तथा इस संसार में व्याप्त महामारी कोरोना से राहत दिलाने के लिए सभी को आशीर्वाद प्रदान करें। विनम्र निवेदन करते हैं स्वामी चिन्मयानंद जी से कि वो अपने 2 शब्द इस समारोह में प्रस्तुत करें।
धन्यवाद। मैं आप सबका इस वेबिनार के, इस अंतर्राष्ट्रीय वेबिनार के आयोजक डॉक्टर अनुराग अग्रवाल, इस आयोजन के मुख्य कर्ता धर्ता और SSPG कॉलेज के प्राचार्य डॉक्टर अवनीश मिश्र, और इस वेबिनार के मुख्य अतिथि उत्तर प्रदेश शैक्षिक विकास परिषद के अध्यक्ष डॉक्टर गिरीश चंद्र त्रिपाठी, और उन सभी मित्रों का मैं स्वागत करता हूं जो देश विदेश से इस महत्वपूर्ण वेबिनार से जुड़े हैं। आज हम देख रहे हैं कि विश्व के सामने स्वास्थ्य का जो संकट उपस्थित हुआ है वो कितना गंभीर है, इस पर अलग से चर्चा की जा सकती है। लेकिन इससे जो आर्थिक चुनौती सामने उपस्थित हुई है विश्व के, वो एक बहुत बड़ी चुनौती है जो आने वाले कई वर्षों तक विश्व को प्रभावित करेगी। विश्व में आज स्थिति ये है कि उत्पादकता क्षीण हो गई है, उत्पादन बंद हो गया है, मजदूर बेकार हो गए हैं, कारखाने बंद हो गए हैं, दुकानें बंद हो गई हैं, व्यापार बंद हो गया है। इन सब चीजों के कारण एक बड़ी आर्थिक चुनौती विश्व के सामने उपस्थित हुई है। हम समझते हैं कि जैसे इस महामारी का सामना करने के लिए विश्व ने आगे बढ़कर एक दूसरे देशों के साथ मिल करके इसका सामना करने का साहस किया और इसके इलाज के बारे में, इसके निदान के बारे में उन्होंने अपनी योजनाएं तैयार की। ऐसे ही विश्व के सामने उपस्थित इस आर्थिक चुनौती का सामना करने के लिए भी विश्व के सभी देश अपनी आपसी मतभेद दूर कर एक साथ खड़े होंगे। और जब एक साथ पूरा विश्व खड़ा होगा तो भले ही हम आज महामारी से जूझ रहे हों, लेकिन कल जब हम इस महामारी से निकलेंगे तो विश्व के सामने उपस्थित इस आर्थिक चुनौती का सामना करने में हमको कोई कठिनाई नहीं होगी। और खास तौर से हम भारत के बारे में कह सकते हैं, यह वो एक देश है जिसकी सभ्यता हमें सिखाती है कि बार बार मर करके हम जिंदा होते रहे हैं, हमें कभी कोई मार नहीं सका है। हम एक अजेय देश हैं, एक अजेय संस्कृति है, अजेय स्वाभिमान है और अजेय सोच है। हम सबके हित की बात सोचते हैं, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, विश्व को हम सुखी देखना चाहते हैं। और यही एक ऐसा देश है जो तमाम झंझाओं से, तमाम विपत्तियों से, तमाम आधियों से गुजर करके भी अपने अस्तित्व को बचाए रखने में कामयाब रहा है। भले ही कोई देश किसी बुरी नीयत से इस देश को कमजोर करने की कोशिश कर रहा हो या करता रहा हो, लेकिन हम उससे प्रभावित नहीं हुए, बल्कि जरूरत पड़ने पर उस देश को भी हमने अपने साथ लिया जिस देश ने हमको नुकसान पहुंचाने की कोशिश की। हम जानते हैं कि हमारे देश के व्यापार में चीन का बहुत बड़ा हिस्सा है, लेकिन चीन ने जिस तरह एक बीमारी को हमारे सिर पर थोपा है, हमें सामना करना है और हम उसको सामना करने में सफल होंगे, ऐसा हमारा विश्वास है। हमारे देश का नेतृत्व जिस आध्यात्मिक विरासत से जुड़ा हुआ है, उसमें मरने के लिए कोई जगह नहीं है। जीवन अनंत है। इस अनंत जीवन की उस अभिलाषा को प्राप्त करने के लिए हम उन सभी उपायों का अनुसरण करें जिसका उल्लेख अभी हमारे माननीय मुख्य अतिथि जी ने किया। मैं माननीय मुख्य अतिथि जी के विचारों से स्वयं को संबद्ध करते हुए कहना चाहूंगा कि आर्थिक संकट एक बड़ा संकट है, लेकिन उसके समाधान के लिए हमें उन जरूरतों की ओर ध्यान देने की आवश्यकता है जिसके बिना हम खड़े नहीं हो सकते। और उसमें एक बहुत बड़ी बात कही गई कि विश्व के हर देश का अपना अपना एक काम करने का तरीका है। उस तरीके में हम मतभेद न रखकर अगर उस तरीके के साथ सामंजस्य स्थापित करें, जैसे कुछ देश हैं विकसित देश हैं, कुछ विकासशील देश हैं, कुछ अविकसित देश हैं, इन तीनों की आर्थिक नीतियां, इनके आर्थिक सोच अलग अलग हैं, लेकिन इनके बीच एक तारतम्य बन सके और हम किसी देश का आर्थिक शोषण न करके जो देश आर्थिक दृष्टि से जितना पिछड़ा हो उसको उतनी ही मदद दे करके अपने साथ लाने की कोशिश अगर करेंगे तो अब ये अर्थव्यवस्था किसी एक देश की नहीं है, एक देश के बलबूते भी नहीं है कि एक देश अकेला इस चुनौती का सामना कर सकेगा। इसलिए इस चुनौती का सामना करने के लिए विश्व के सभी देशों को अपने अपने गुरूर, अपने अपने अभिमान और अपनी अपनी सीमाओं का लोभ छोड़ करके जो विकसित देश हैं वे भी, जो विकासशील देश हैं वे भी, और जो पिछड़े हुए अविकसित देश हैं वे भी एक दूसरे के साथ मिल करके जहां जिस जगह जिसकी जो स्थिति हो उस स्थिति से निपटने के लिए एक सामंजस्य बनना चाहिए। उस सामंजस्य से हम अगर निकलेंगे, हम जानते हैं कि कोविड-19 की बीमारी, ये बीमारी नहीं है, महामारी है, विश्व के स्वास्थ्य के लिए बहुत बड़ी चुनौती है। हम इसके लिए तैयार नहीं थे। हमारी वैज्ञानिक उपलब्धियां एक तरह से बौनी साबित हुई। हम विज्ञान के क्षेत्र में बहुत आगे बढ़ करके भी ठहर गए। ऐसा लगा कि अब इस बीमारी का सामना करने के लिए हमारे पास कुछ नहीं है। तो ऐसी स्थिति बीमारी का सामना करने के लिए तो आ सकती है, लेकिन आर्थिक चुनौती का सामना करने के लिए हमारे सामने ऐसा कोई बड़ा संकट नहीं है जिसका सामना हम न कर सकें। जिस दिन भारत अपने पैरों पर खड़ा होने का मन बना लेगा, जिस दिन आत्मनिर्भरता का संकल्प लेगा, निश्चित ही न केवल भारत अपने लिए बल्कि पूरे विश्व के लिए वो सब कुछ कर सकेगा जिससे विश्व अपने खोए हुए आर्थिक साम्राज्य को पुनः प्राप्त कर सके। मेरी बहुत बहुत शुभकामना जो देश इसमें भाग ले रहे हैं उनके प्रति, जो प्रतिभागी भाग ले रहे हैं उनके प्रति, सबके प्रति आदर व्यक्त करते हुए मैं अपनी शुभकामना देता हूँ।
सादर धन्यवाद स्वामी परम आदरणीय स्वामी चिन्मयानंद जी. Here now I would like to begin our this international webinar session with the eminent speakers from around the globe. To introduce and start this session, first of all, I would like to invite our first resource person guest speaker, Dr. Bhupen Nath Gupta from Ethiopia. Let me introduce him. Dr. Bhupen Nath Gupta is the assistant professor and PhD guide in Ethiopia Civil Service University in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. He was born in Shahjahanpur, Uttar Pradesh, India, and has held PhD, MA Economics, MBA, and MCom. Presently, Sir is also served as Director Professor in Siddhant Institute of Business Management in Pune and of Institute of Management and Science in Jalgaon. Sir has also published and authored of 5 books and published many research papers in national as well as international journals. Sir is also supervised 2 PhD scholars and currently is supervising 4 PhD scholars. Dr. B.N. Gupta sir is also awarded as Samaj Shri, Vidya Ratna and Best Teacher by various organizations. He is also the member of Board of Studies in Management and Commerce by North Maharashtra University, Jalgaon, Maharashtra, India. I warmly like to invite our resource person guest speaker, Dr. Bhupen Gupta sir from Ethiopia, to share his views on this international webinar on impact of COVID-19 on global economy. Dr. Bhupen Nath Gupta, sir.
Associate Professor.
Thank you.
From Ethiopia. Dr. Bhupen Nath?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Bhupendra.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here in the webinar. I must thank to the organizing committee, to the management of the college, particularly our respected guru, Dr. A.K. Misra sir and Dr. Anurag sir, who have invited me and given me an opportunity to express my views and to share my experience and knowledge on the COVID-19 on this platform. Along with that, I would also like to thank to my friends and colleagues from Ethiopia, Dr. Tesfaye and Dr. Dashanan, who on my request became ready to join this and to share their knowledge on the webinar. Thank you, Dr. Tesfaye, and thank you, Dr. Dashanan, to be here with me. See, today, whole of the world, not only India, whole of the world is suffering from the COVID-19, that is coronavirus, which basically came out from the China, Wuhan city. We don't know how it came out, but it is now with us. There is again this subject, this is a matter of investigation, whether it is came out of the Wuhan, this bed market, or it came out of the Wuhan virological lab. Again, there are 2 chances. If it came out of the Wuhan virological lab, then it came accidentally or purposely. Again, this is the subject of the investigation, and we will not go into deep of that. So far as the impact of the COVID-19 on the global economy is concerned, we all know that it have a large impact on the global economy if affected. And we can classify the effect when we are talking about the impact. In some of the areas, there may be some negative impact. In some of the areas, it may be a positive impact. In some of the cases, it is only the impact. We cannot say it's a positive or negative. But somehow or the other, it impacted. In fact, it affected the world as a whole. And it also divided, whenever we will talk, is after, say, to the coming days, maybe after a year or 2, we will always talk about the pre-corona scenario and post-corona era. So in this way, it also divided our world, the phase of the world into pre-corona. Like now we are talking about the, so far as the India is concerned, before independence, after independence, or worldwide, before World War or second World War or after second World War. So similarly, now in the coming days, we will talk about the pre-corona phase and post-corona phase. So in this way, it affected a lot. Now, the economy, global economy. I would like to mention some of the points here, which basically known as the ingredients, or we can call it the parameters, components, whatever we can call it, the economy. These components are, this consists, the whole economy, the contribution of all these components and towards the economy. This is health first, because the COVID-19 affected the health worldwide, whether it is irrespective of the development of the country, whether it's developed or undeveloped or underdeveloped, all the countries. Almost every country have reported the cases of COVID-19. Though some countries have reported, hit harder than others, but they have. So it affected health. The points which I would like to discuss over here within the next 30 minutes are health, how the COVID-19 affected the health of the world. Second, the education, very important, the employment, tourism, and along with the tourism, the hotel industry is also associated with the tourism. And then transportation, the domestic transportation and the global international transportation. Still, India have not started the global, the international flight have not been started by the Indian government. So how the transportation is also being affected. These are all the ingredients which are contributing towards the development, towards the growth of the economy, which I would like to discuss over here. Another is, again, entertainment industry. This is also suffering from the COVID-19. And again, one more thing I would like, when I will come to this point, entertainment industry, one more thing which I lost, which India have lost because of the COVID-19, I would also like to discuss that. Another is, as we know, manufacturing sector, service sector, trading, service sector means trading sector, IT sector, and another is the environment as a whole, how it has been affected, and the total hygiene practices. This COVID-19 have also gives rise to, this have changes our lifestyle and hygiene practices also. So this overall, all the contributes when all the attributes contribute towards the growth of the economy, and this contributes also towards the GDP. So let us, other than this, how the COVID-19 affected. Though this is not the, somehow it may be, or we will come later on these other topics. But let us discuss one by one how the COVID-19 have affected our world at large, particularly so far as the economy is concerned. The health, the COVID-19 directly attacked on the health of the people worldwide. And this is what the negative impact, as I said, the health of the people. Many people are being affected. They have got infected by the COVID-19, and out of these, many people have lost their life also. And this COVID-19 have also alarmed the world as such, as our eminent guest pointed out some of the things regarding the health facilities and health infrastructure of the world. Before now, see, as I said, pre-corona world and post-corona world. When we will talk about the pre-corona world or pre-COVID-19, most of the developed countries from Europe and America claimed that they are the they have a very good health infrastructure, very good health facilities in their countries. They are number one, but COVID-19 exposed them. And this not exposed, but it is it is an alarm for not only the developed countries, for the developing countries like India also, even though India also claimed that we are producing so much doctors, we are having that much hospitals, but during the COVID-19, all these countries have been exposed They are not even able to provide the bed for the infected people. This is what we have to again think on that, how the infrastructure, medical infrastructure, and even these we do not have the sufficient other medical equipments also to protect our medical team, doctors, PPT kit, all that things. So again, this is what the health at large have been affected. And you see now, you see, very nominal example, minor example. The total population of the world is 8 billion. And out of that, only 1 crore people have been, around 1 crore people have been infected. And this is not only the 1% of the total population of the world. It is less than 1% of the total population of the world, and the world is not able to provide the medical facilities, the health facilities, the bed, the ventilators on that. Even less than 1% of the population of the world. This is again the area where the different countries have to think how they claimed that they are the number 1, number 2, or number 3 in the health facilities. Another area is the education, which have largely been affected worldwide. See, the nature of the coronavirus is that it transmits from person to person. So primarily, the social distancing is only the way to protect ourselves from this virus. And that is how all the organizations, be it education organization or some other organization, have shut it down. And the education is one of them, because that was the time, particularly in India and in other countries also, that was the time when the examinations were going on. Board examinations, university examinations were going on, and at that time, the COVID-19 attacked. During that time, because of the shutdown, students are at their home, though many of the countries have started the digital education, the online education, but that online education this is what I'm just sharing. I'm sharing my own experience and observations. See, so far as the statistics and all this is concerned, all these statistics are available on the internet and everywhere people can access them. But sharing the experience, how making the policies is one thing, implementation is also another, and third thing is the feedback. What is the feedback of these strategies made by the different authorities? So this is what the digital education have been started. Online classes also being started, but it is not that much succeeded in all over the world actually. And another thing, during that, most of the governments introduced the policies that the examination of rest of the subjects will not be taken, and the marks will be allotted to the students on the basis of whatever they have performed in their previous subjects. This is how the impact of COVID-19 is on the life of the whole generation, and they have to pay for it. For example, this is a common policy made by the government. Now, I think day before yesterday, I was studying that ICSE and CBSE have declared that the rest of the examinations for 10th and 12th class will not be taken, and the marks will be allotted to them on the basis of their previous performance, 3 subjects or whatever. Now, again, there is a problem. Some of the students who might have not performed well in their previous subjects, and they were planning to compensate these subjects in the coming subjects, these marks in the coming subjects. And coming subjects examination have been cancelled. And the marks will, so this is how they have to pay, and this is in the near future, in the whole life, the students particularly, they have to suffer from this type of problems. And those who are not scoring good, that will be, that is again this injustice for the students actually. So the third area of the economy where the COVID-19 hit largely is the employment. Definitely, all the manufacturing organizations have been shut down, and all the organizations, all sectors, they have been closed, and they are closed from last 3 months, 4 months. So it gave rise to the unemployment. the speed, the economy of the world, including our India, will gear up. It will again means go faster than the before. And this is what my own, my personal this opinion, that within after unlocking the country, within next 6 months, the economy of the country will come back on its track. So this unemployment is again one of the area where COVID-19 impacted a lot, affected a lot. People are suffering from last 2-3 months, particularly for those who were earning and earning on the daily basis, for laborers, factory laborers, some the street food sellers, and the person who are earning daily and surviving their lives. So this is again one of the area where, but this is again, see, this unemployment will not long last. It will definitely, as and when the things will open and the economy will come back on its track, the people will again get the employment. Now I saw many people. This is again. See, the problem is, particularly if I talk about the India, because it's a big country, it's the second largest so far as in the world population wise. During the lockdown, this is the mistake also done by the people. This is what I personally feel. During the lockdown, many people, workers, they migrated from their workplace to their native places. That again created a huge problems to them itself. Now they came back to their native places, and slowly now I think unlock phase 1 have also started, and unlock phase 2 will start maybe within coming days. And then again they have to go there. So this is what this brought them an extra burden, extra financial burden, and this physical burden on their life. But anyhow, it is an impact. It is an impact of COVID-19 on the employment also. So this we have to deal with this also in the coming days. And next is the tourism. The very important area so far as the global economy is concerned, because many of the countries and the economy depends on the tourism. It's a big, means if we talk about some European countries, there is a huge revenue earned from the tourism sectors. So this have been affected by the COVID-19, and it may take a little this. So far as the education and employment is concerned, I personally think we should not be worried about more regarding the unemployment and regarding the education system, this so far as the online education system, because the offline means classes and the employment may resume within the next 6 months. But tourism, and particularly international tourism, will take more time to resume. So this industry is basically affected at large by the COVID-19 worldwide, and that will take much more time to resume again. And this with the tourism, the hotel industry is quietly associated with that. It's close relationship with the hotel industries and restaurants. So definitely these hotel industries have also will take also much more time to resume, but as and when the things will become normal, and I think within next 6 months, within next 6 months, I think this situation will get normalized, and all these things not at once, but step by step, phase by phase, the economy and all these the ingredients or the components which we are talking about here will come back on their track slowly. Another industries which I was pointed out, the entertainment industries, particularly in India. It was a very huge industry in India, entertainment. We may call it a Bollywood, or we may call it some film industries, where a different type of these activities, entertainment activities are being recorded and being survived. So it is also being affected because of the lockdown. And this is again, as I told you, I am not going through this statistics or some other. I'm sharing my own observation. I'm sharing my own opinion and my own thought. From entertainment industry, Financial loss is there. That is quite simple, quite understandable. Because of the lockdown, shooting of all the films and all the TV serials, all other TV shows is stopped. Other than that, during the lockdown period, we lost, I think, if I remember, 5 prominent personalities from the film industries. One is Rishi Kapoor, another is Irfan Khan, another is this recent Sushant Singh Rajput, and one Bazid Khan again, and one more I'm forgetting. So this is how, see, so far as Rishi Kapoor, this is what the prominent personalities in the film industries, and we were not expecting to go to leave. We were not expecting them to leave this world at this stage, particularly, and they were under the treatment also. The Irfan, we were discussing among our friends also here that Irfan Khan and Rishi Kapoor were taking a treatment in America. And this is what, again, the reason is, see, the life of every person is decided by the God. That is definitely, we cannot deny. But what I personally, this is again the impact, big impact of the COVID-19 on the Indian film industry and entertainment industries. If there were no lockdown, the possibilities of the Rishi Kapoor and the Irfan Khan is to again go back to America or Europe and can continue their treatment, and their life can also be saved. So this is how they have not died because of the corona directly. Corona have not been infected them, but because of the lockdown, because of the COVID-19, they were not able to move the country, and this is how they lost their life, and it's a big loss for the film industries, entertainment industries in India. Similarly, the Sushant Singh Yadav also from last 6 months, Sushant Singh this Rajput also. The depression from last 6 months, they are under the lockdown. So this is again a big loss. So this is how the entertainment industry have also been affected along similarly to the other sectors. And this loss we cannot recover. Never, we can never recover this loss. Another area, another the ingredient or the component of the economy is a very big contribution, manufacturing sector. All the manufacturing activities were closed. But here again, let us not be pessimistic. And as our chief guest, Dr. Girishji said, this is again a challenge, but we have to make certain strategies to convert these challenges into the opportunities. And this is how our Prime Minister and the team of the Prime Minister is working for. Every time they are thinking, and this is the specialty of, this is the strength of our Prime Minister and their team. And we are blessed, the Indians are blessed to have such type of Prime Ministers, a visionary Prime Minister now. And their team is again working day and night, how this challenge be overcome, not only overcome, how this challenge can be converted into opportunities. And that is how they came up with an idea of self-reliant India, and they are working on it. We have to be a self-reliant. We cannot depend on some other countries for infinity time. It's enough. We have spent almost 70 years. Still, we are dependent, and the countries are getting undue advantage of that dependence also. So I'm totally agree with the vision of our Prime Minister, of our respective Prime Ministers, that we have to. It cannot be. We cannot be self-reliant overnight. But phase by phase, we have to make some strategies. And under the 1, 2, 3 phase, it may take the next 2, 3 years, 5 years. But after a certain period of time, I'm sure if we will work in that direction seriously, as per the strategies made by our government, the India in the near future. So manufacturing sector is one which cannot be stopped for longer time. I am sure maybe, and many of the sectors, many of the these organizations, manufacturing organizations have started their activities, and rest of also will start to continue their activities in the near future as and when the lockdown 3, 4 will come. Unlockdown 3, 4 and phase will come. Similarly, the service sectors, trading sectors, this have affected largely. IT sectors, again, they are, see here again, some now, the component which I have discussed before have somehow a negative impact. But here IT sector have a positive impact of the COVID-19, because during COVID-19, we all have started work from home, and this work from home is possible only because of our information technologies. Different type of softwares, different type of information technologies we have developed earlier also, and during the COVID period also, different type of softwares have been developed to smoothize the work from home and to smoothize the study from home, online teaching, online classes also. Though it is again a subject of discussion, a matter of discussion, how much it succeeded. But on IT sector, it is again, because this is the sector where people need not to go to the organization, to their offices for work. Even though if it is not a COVID-19, then also many IT companies are very liberal to their employees. You need not to come every day in the offices. Whatever the assignment given to you, you can complete it from your home also. So this is how the IT sector is affected also, but positively up to certain extent. And another area where we are having again a positive impact is the environment. On the environment, because of the lockdown, it's 2 months complete lockdown in India, and that gave rise to the healing of the environment, particularly the Indian environment. If I talk about, I saw some of the news in the authentic Indian news channels and some social media also, that people were able to see some mountains from their from this one of the case which were very popular, Jalandhar. From Jalandhar they were able to see the mountain from Jalandhar to Simla or somewhere else. This was not possible ever before. So this is how the COVID-19 again provided an opportunities to heal the environment. And some scientists also says, I don't know how much is true, that up to certain extent the ozone layer has also been repaired and healed. This is what the positive impact of the COVID-19 on the environment is. Our rivers, the Ganga and Jamuna, that also been very much clean during the day. There was no pollution, water pollution, air pollution, everything have been this healed out. So this positive impact also is there on the IT sector and the environment, on the total environment. Another thing is, which I observed, and even everyone observed, that the lifestyle of the people have completely changed after the COVID-19, and the hygiene practices also. Before, see, in our as our respected Swamiji said, that in our Indian philosophy and everything, this is our Indian practice. Every time we need to we have been asked by our parents, wash your hand before eating something, wash your hand like this. So this is again, coronavirus or COVID-19 have brought us back on that practice which we were practicing from a long time, from our ancient days. And but because of this modernization and because of this restless life, we left all these things, so washing hand and all this. But these hygiene practices and the total lifestyle change, no handshake, only namaste, keeping the distance, all these things, this is again need to practice for a longer period of time, unless a proper vaccine is not coming of the coronavirus. So this is how and the impact that the coronavirus and COVID-19 had on our life. So this all together contributes towards the GDP, and the all means before I heard that our this chief guest and some our respective principals are also quoted how the GDPs have declined, and it is expected still to decline in the next few months. But having said that, the impact of COVID-19 on all these components of the economy, they have positive, negative, or no positive, negative, only impact. But again, these impacts are not permanent, and let us not disappoint with that. Again, we have to think on that, how can we capitalize the situation and how can we convert the situation into the opportunities. And this is how our country, and I think not only our country India, but rest of the world, developed countries, developing countries like America, Europe, and even some other these countries from the African continent should also think on the same way that this is a time being, it's a short term, and soon I am hoping that soon some vaccination will also come, and the situation will overcome, and the duration of last 6 months again gave us and taught us a big lesson in all the respect. And other than this, again, I would like to highlight some of the areas where the COVID-19 have its impact. As we know now, the coronavirus came out of the China, Wuhan market, and during last 3-4 months, China have been sometimes even criticized by rest of the world for not controlling this or not informing the rest of the world on time, because it has been noticed in Wuhan city somewhere in the month of December, but they didn't inform to the rest of the world so that the precautionary measures can be taken by the world and the life of the thousands of the people could have been saved. So this corona or COVID-19 also have an impact on the world order, other than because the economy, the COVID-19 affected the world economy, and world economy is now going to affect the world political order also, the equation of the world. And now we are observing another phase of the Cold War have been started. This Cold War will remain Cold War, and if it will remain Cold War, then how long it will remain, or it will convert, or this is again in the, we are not able to make any comment on that, but the world order definitely have been changed as during the COVID-19. Okay, and another thing is, COVID-19 also affected the credibility of some world organizations like WHO and some other world organizations, WTO, in some cases UN also. China, again, this COVID-19, because of the COVID-19, I would not say it have impacted or if it affected the credibility, rather than now this credibility of the China have totally, up to large extent, have lost in the eyes of the world, because I have 5 questions in my mind which need to, even everyone, which need to be asked to the China. When the coronavirus, this noticed in the China, Wuhan city at the early stage, then why China did not inform to the WHO on time? And if it is informed to WHO, then why WHO did not take in corrective action or this precautionary action well in time? So the credibility of the WHO is also in the question mark, and the China, it is there. Question number 2, soon after, maybe in the month of February, China declared that he controlled the COVID by this coronavirus, and Wuhan city had been unlocked. Okay, that's good. But why didn't China share the technique or the tool, how they have control, or the medicine? Do they have any medicine to control? If not, also that again China did not share. Third question is, the virus came out from the Wuhan city, maybe from the wet market or maybe from the virological lab. Okay, the distance of the Wuhan city from Beijing is only, I think, 700 kilometers, and Shanghai 400 kilometers, and rest of the China is safe other than the Wuhan. How it's possible? Thousands, 15, 17, I think 20,000 kilometers away from Wuhan to New York, there is a disaster in whole of Europe and in New York and all other countries. So all the major cities and rest of the part of the Chinas are quite safe from the coronavirus, except the Wuhan, and whole of the world have been affected. Thousands and crores of the lives have lost. So this is how the China have lost their credibility because of the COVID. This is the impact. And WHO also, they lost their credibility in the end, and that again gives rise to the restructuring of the WHO. along with certain changes in the other major organs of the this UN, like WTO also need to be restructured and UN as such. So this is again the impact of COVID-19, though it is not directly related to economy, but because of the economy affected by the COVID-19, so this impact also come on these things. Another thing is, again, now we are facing so this is what question number 3 I told you. How the rest of the China is safe and other birds affected. There is no answer. And the question number 4, which I was having in my mind, this UN, this United States and the rest of the countries of the world requested China that you please allow an independent team of experts who will investigate the reason behind the release of the coronavirus, how it came out, whether it came out the wet market or it came out the virological lab. Let us know the reality, exact for the situation, so that the vaccine, the information will help to find out some solutions, some medicines, but China didn't allow. Why? That is again a question. Question number 4. This is, and the question number 5, which I was having in my mind, is I am forgetting it now. These 4 questions, and this was again. So this is how these are the things which create. The 5 question is, question number 5 is, and very important. Now we are observing that all the researchers, the team of the scientists, medical doctors, they are trying to find out the vaccine, but their problem is they do not know the genome of the virus. What genome of the virus means, how the virus is behaving, what the correct, as a layman I'm saying, the genome means the characteristics or the nature or the behavior of the virus. A virus is an enemy for the doctors. So unless we know the strength and weakness of our enemy, the characteristics and the nature of our enemy, how can we make our own planning to defeat him? That is the problem with the doctors who are searching the vaccination. And China is still not sharing the genome of the virus to the rest of the world. So these are the questions, 5 questions China have to answer. If it is fair, if China have not released that viruses to the rest of the world purposely, then. Another issues, now some of the things are there, but it may take, I think, more time to discuss. Other than this, some of the things are there. If time will allow, I will continue. Is it possible to continue now also, because I think there is a restriction of the time? Can you hear me, sir? Anurag sir? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah. Some more.
Yes,
can I continue? Can I continue?
Yes.
Sir, you take more than your time.
That is what I asked, because some of the point I left, so no problem. So some other time we will discuss. So this is how we are seeing that the impact of the COVID-19 is there on the different components of the economy, and because of the economy of the world have been affected due to COVID-19, so the rest of the issues are also came up. That is what the world order, credibility of the WHO, credibility of the China itself, or it may be the border issue, Indo-China border issue maybe. This is again because China is now just want to divert their attention, want to divert the attention of the world from the COVID-19 to somewhere else. So this is again, means many things are there. So with this, I would like to conclude this session here. And once again, I would like to thank to the members of the organizing committee, the management of the college, particularly my respected guru, Dr. A.K. Misraji, and my respected guru, Dr. Anurag Agarwalji, for inviting me and giving me an opportunity to express my views and my experience on the COVID-19. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. for such informative session. And here now, I would like to invite our next resource guest speaker, Dr. Mario Boris Carvalho from Switzerland. Let me introduce him. Dr. Mario is the Chief Executive Officer of Management Business Consultant in Switzerland. He has the experience of more than 25 years in management training consultant, and he holds a PhD in future markets, MA in European Eco Studies, BA honors in economic and sociology. Sir is also known languages like Spanish, Italian, and English. Sir has expertise of areas such as strategic planning, performance improvement management, and change management. Sir was also the former principal of research officer in Comsat University in Islamabad, Pakistan, and has also been served as assistant professor in business administration in College of Applied Sciences in Al Rostaq in Oman, and also as College of International Studies in Madrid, Spain. Sir has also been attended many international and national conferences, seminars as a keynote speaker, resource person in various universities around the world. Sir has also been participated at World Economics Forum, Davos in Switzerland, Confederator of India Industry Swiss, Indian chapter of Commerce as recently few months back in January 2020. Here, I warmly like to invite our next resource guest speaker, Dr. Mario from Switzerland, to share his opinion on this today's webinar.
Thank you very much for the introduction. I'm very much delighted and honored to have been invited to this international webinar on the impact of COVID-19 on the global economy. I would like to thank very much the organizing secretary, Dr. Anurag, and the principal, Dr. Mishra. Without any further delay, I would like to go on to give my views on this topic, the impact of COVID-19 on the global economy. I will try to be as specific and as direct to the point as I can in order to at least at the end of my presentation leave you with a few ideas that could help you or guide you through this very complex concept or topic, which is the impact of COVID on the global economy. Really, the impact, when we talk about the impact of the COVID-19 on the global economy, we are talking about the impact that it has had on two major concepts, the concepts of confidence and the concept of uncertainty. This impact on these two areas have affected the way in which now countries face the recovery or the way out of the coronavirus pandemic. The way in which these two concepts are fundamental to understanding the impact of coronavirus is to do with the fact that the solution to the coronavirus was sought initially in the medical sector, hoping it will provide a vaccine that will reduce or bring to an end the expansion of the coronavirus. As this vaccine failed to materialize, then all hopes directed towards what actions would governments take in order to deal with or tackle this coronavirus. The government in this respect reacted through the implementation of major financial actions aimed at bringing liquidity into the system so that they could somehow contain the spreading of the disease, in particular through the use of strategic measures such as the lockdown, which led to a major shutdown of certain of major sectors of the economy, a rise in unemployment, drop in consumer spending, and above all, a rise in government debt. All this initially generated some sort of optimism on the part of countries and the people in general, who thought that these measures might prove effective towards reducing the effect of the coronavirus. However, not only as the lockdown proved ineffective, then people started losing confidence, and as they lost confidence, uncertainty about the future became even greater, affecting people's attitude in terms of consumption trends, expectations about investment. Sectors such as the banking sector also failed to become resourceful because they could not lend money to industries and firms and businesses, because it was not known how long will the pandemic would last. So consequently, the key concept around the possible development and resolution of the corona crisis ended up transforming itself into a major problem, where the uncertainty generated was labeled as toxic for economic recovery. So therefore, whatever action needed to be taken in order to restore confidence into the economy would have to center on regaining the certainty in the economic activity, so that then economic recovery could unlock. In this respect, and in order to understand the effects of confidence and uncertainty on the recovery of the economy due to the coronavirus, the approach that governments have had to tackle the coronavirus around the world can be organized into three main sets of scenarios. The first scenario is, I would call it the high virus spread scenario. In this scenario, we find countries who have been very much affected by the coronavirus. And as a result of that, governments have introduced very strong and stringent effects to try to control the spreading of this disease. In particular, the introduction of lockdown strategies that ended up reducing the activity of many sectors, creating high level of unemployment, reducing consumption spending, and then consequently forcing governments to get into very high debts to finance the lockdown uncertainty created by the lockdown. The second scenario is the partial virus spread scenario. In this scenario, we find countries whose economy, who have been partially affected by the virus. Therefore, the actions of the governments to tackle the virus has stopped short of introducing a lockdown. And then the third major scenario is what is called the near zero virus spread scenario. These involve economies where the governments have introduced containment measures way before the coronavirus adopted the status of a pandemic. This allowed these governments to introduce a series of objective, pragmatic protocols, which have proved to be very effective in terms of containing the spread of the pandemic, to the extent that these countries, the economies of these countries, have remained open throughout the pandemic. Now, as the infection curve starts to flatten, then the question rises as to what actions need to be taken in order to regain pre-coronavirus GDP growth level. The strategies that have been suggested have been that of applying or pushing for a near zero goal, in which there is a package of protocol measures aimed at solving or containing the coronavirus spread. These packages have been suggested to be applied to the countries involved in the scenarios of high virus spread and partial virus spread, so that they could develop a roadmap in which they could control the spreading of the disease and achieve economic growth in the future. This package of protocol measures named as near zero virus package are based on nine simple, very practical and applicable measures. The first of them involves the banning of large-scale public events. The second involves the generalizing of using of masks by the population. The third measure involves that of promoting and extending wide testing. The fourth measure involves that of tracking and tracing the disease. The fifth measure involves quarantining infected individuals and their contacts. The sixth measure involves introducing enforcing physical distancing. The seventh measure involves controlling borders. The eighth measure involves implementing work protocols. And finally, the ninth measure involves modifying public transport frameworks. These measures, though they seem simple and without major problems in terms of being introduced and applied, do have represented to some countries a major problems, given the political, social, cultural, and technical effects that implementing measures of this type in certain geographical contexts might represent. However, whatever type of strategy countries adopt in order to tackle the coronavirus spread, this must center on making the restoration of confidence a priority, because only if you restore confidence, then you will reduce uncertainty, and as you reduce uncertainty, you will be able to regain and move towards economic growth. Hopefully within a short period of time and in line with the GDP growth levels. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Definitely, if we have the confidence, then definitely we will cover up this situation in this global economy in this world. Here, I would like to introduce our next resource speaker guest, Dr. Dasling Shambu from Ethiopia. He is the assistant professor in Department of Development Economics at University at Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. He holds PhD and MA in economics. Sir has taught courses such as Advanced Microeconomics, Advanced Econometrics, and Advanced Research Methods in Impact Evaluation Methods. Sir has the vast pool of experience in teaching, researching, and training fields. Here, I would like to invite the Dr. Shambu from Ethiopia to share his views of today's session. Dr. Dasling Shambu, sir, from Ethiopia.
Not here? Oh.
Hello. I'm requesting the host to please confirm whether Dr. Shambu has been connected or not.
डॉक्टर शैम्बियो, दिव्यांश, जरा देखो डॉक्टर शैम्बियो कनेक्ट है या नहीं एथियोपिया से?
नहीं है सर.
Okay. Thank you.
हाँ, कनेक्ट है.
Connected.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. First, I would like to extend my appreciation to the organizing committee of this webinar on this timely topic on the impact of COVID-19 on the global economy. And on my side, I would like to also appreciate the contribution of Dr. Gupta and Dr. Anwar for inviting me to this webinar. Let me share my screen. I have prepared a PowerPoint for the presentation.
Sure, sir.
Okay.
Yes, visible.
I have prepared the presentation into 4 sections: introduction, the impact of COVID-19 on the global economy, and responses of government to this pandemic, and some conclusions. Just to provide an introduction pertaining to COVID, we know that since December 2019, when the virus was first reported in Wuhan, China, COVID-19 has been expanding or growing exponentially. As of today, about 10.1 million people contracted the virus, and about 500,000 people died worldwide. And this number is keep on rising. The data from the Worldometer shows US, Brazil, Russia, India, and UK are the first 5 countries hard hit by the virus. Thus, various countries have taken various public health measures as a response to the virus, like public quarantine, border quarantine, stay at home, and social distancing. Following this pandemic, a number of countries also imposed a complete lockdown for the movement of people and business, which ultimately affects the economy of countries. A number of countries like Italy, France, Netherlands, Spain issued a stay at home to control the spread of the virus. This consequently resulted in risks, uncertainty, and fear on the global economy. For example, it has affected the stock market price, profit of firms, and it has also resulted in an increase in unemployment. Even it has resulted in total shutdown of businesses in a number of countries, especially, for example, if you take the case in Ethiopia, a number of small businesses were totally closed because of the pandemic. Especially the travel industry is the first hard-hit sector, followed by tourism sector. And the other sector affected is the manufacturing sector, because of a reduction in global supply chain, as China is the largest supplier of manufacturing supplies, the manufacturing sector was affected. Recently, IMF reported that COVID-19 has resulted in global recession, at least as bad as the 2007-2008 financial recession, or next to the 2029 to 33 economic recession. This pandemic has a number of impacts on the global economy. We know initially there was a belief that the pandemic would be localized only in China. This was the belief, but later it has spread throughout the world. The economic pain became severe because of stay at home, which affects businesses, which require movement of people, and travel ban, which affects the travel industry, and cancellation of various events like sports and public gatherings. Thus, the pandemic has impacted the global economy in a number of ways. Okay, it has affected a number of sectors, economic sectors, globally. So here, my presentation is organized in terms of sectoral impact of the pandemic. So the first sector affected is the health sector, because China is the main producer of most active ingredients, which are very important for pharmaceutical supplies. This has resulted in shortage of supply of drugs in many countries, which affects the health sector of countries. The other sector affected by the COVID-19 is the education sector. COVID has disrupted higher education, of course, not only higher education, okay, even lower educations, primary educations. Thus, colleges and universities were totally shut down, okay, since COVID was declared as a public health issue. The other sector affected is the entertainment sector. Several movie production gatherings were postponed. This has resulted in cancellations of exhibitions, musics, conferences, trade fairs, and trade shows. The other sector affected is the travel sector. COVID-19 made many countries to impose restrictions on non-essential travel, suspension of tourism travel, work visa, immigrant visa. Thus, such travel restriction affected the travel industry and the tourism sector. The other sector affected is the hospitality industry. Because of the COVID-19, restaurants and hotels faced sudden shock just because of the public health measures, stay at home and social distancing. There is cancellation of hotel bookings in many countries, which ultimately affects the hotel business. The other sector affected by the pandemic is the sport industry. It is the most affected sector because it requires gathering of people. For example, football or athletics requires gathering of people. So it is seriously affected by the pandemic. The other economic sector that is affected by the pandemic is international trade, import and exports of importing countries and exporting countries are totally affected by the pandemic. Many countries that depend too much on imports or exports were severely affected by the COVID-19. Because of shutdown, many countries experienced shortage of supplies or shortage of market for their exports. For example, many countries import a lot of manufacturing goods from China, India, Japan. Just because of the pandemic, they are unable to get these goods. Equally, they are unable to export what they have produced. Therefore, because of COVID-19, it was difficult to get alternative sources of exporting or importing goods. The other sector affected by the virus or by the pandemic is the financial market. The stock market and banks are hard-hit sectors of the economy. The most visible outcome of COVID-19 crisis is on the financial sector, especially it affects the global stock market. Large international banks and companies witnessed a significant decline in the share price. The macroeconomic slowdown that resulted from COVID-19 also led to a rise in non-performing loans in the banking sector. The NPL of banks has been rising. There is also a decline in the volume of bank transactions. There is a decline in card payments. There is a fall in the use of these ATM machines, which ultimately affects fee revenues, so that profits. The pandemic has also affected these fintech businesses, businesses that invest on financial technologies. So it affected the equity investments in the existing or in new fintech businesses. The other thing that's affected by the COVID-19 is the oil price. We know in the early 2020, in around January, the price of oil declined because of oil price war between Russia and Saudi Arabia. This was worsened further by the reduction in the demand for oil because of COVID-19. Thus, impositions of restrictions which reduced movement of people and goods leads to a further fall in demand for oil. This fall in the price of oil affected especially oil-dependent countries, which increased their current account deficit. Okay, there are a number of countries that depend on oil. So the fall in price of oil affected negative. It has resulted in an increase, a deficit in current account of these nations. So this further worsens their balance of payments. This also creates pressure on their foreign exchange reserves, which subsequently lead to a devaluation of currency. Many countries, especially oil exporting countries, faced a fall in price of oil, which leads to a shortage of foreign exchange reserve, so that they were forced to engage into devaluation of their currencies. So COVID-19 has a significant impact, especially on oil-dependent countries. It has also affected the budget of these countries, because much of the budget of government is financed from oil. So government is unable to achieve what it has planned because of the fall in price of oil. The other thing I want to talk about is responses pertaining to the impact of COVID-19. Policy measures were taken. Many countries took various measures to mitigate the impact of the virus or the COVID-19. These policy responses are classified into two, broadly: monetary policy and fiscal policy. Expansionary monetary measures were adopted by many central banks to stimulate the economy. For example, adjustment of interest rates. Many countries reduced interest rates, especially lending interest rates. They have also extended a grace period for farmers' loan. They have also decreased reserve requirements or cash reserve ratios by banks. Also, they have tried to provide new credits to boost the investment. There was also extensive loan structuring efforts by governments. There is also effort by governments to reduce federal interest rates. Also, there is moratorium on terms of loan outstanding because of the COVID-19. Many governments tried to extend loan payments, and there is also liquidity injection in the economy to enhance the economy. Money supply measures were also adopted by many central banks through bond purchase programs like the European Union and direct coronavirus relief funds to boost the economy. In many countries, the central bank spent to stimulate the economy, such as whatever it takes policy in India. The Indian government is doing its best to mitigate the effect of COVID-19 on the economy. And the anti-coronavirus crisis fund in Russia, the Russian government is doing a lot to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 on the economy, and the coronavirus support fund in Australia. Here in Ethiopia, there is also the coronavirus support fund, which is about 50 billion Ethiopian birr, allocated for, especially for the service sector, which is hard eaten by the pandemic. The other measure that countries took was fiscal measures. Fiscal policy measures were announced in many countries to mitigate the economic impact of COVID-19. This includes increasing in direct spending. Government is increasing its budgets to enhance the economy, to boost aggregate demand, and fiscal supports through loan and loan guarantees, increased credits availability to to investors and lower taxes. Okay, many governments have reduced tax or they have deferred taxes, and many governments, especially in developing countries like Ethiopia, have got different support from World Bank, from IMF, to offset the impact of COVID-19 on the economy. Here I have some conclusion. As a conclusion, we know that COVID-19 is causing a global recession in 2020. This pandemic has resulted in a decline in economic growth, a decrease in investment, and a rise in unemployment in many countries globally. Thus, policymakers have tried to respond to this outbreak, taking different policy measures. They took various fiscal and monetary policies to mitigate its impact. The whole thing that we can learn from, this is my important view, especially, the whole view that we can learn at this time is that this is a very high time to think and act globally, because as I have said earlier, when the pandemic first happened in China, okay, many people in the world think it will be localized in China, but that is not the case. Okay, so this is a very high time to think globally. Okay, one way or another, one thing that happened in one corner will affect the other. So this is a very high time that world leaders need to come together and think and plan together in overcoming such problems that our planet is facing. Thank you. With this, I would like to end my presentation. Still, I would like to appreciate the organizers, and thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing this nice presentation on the today's topic. And here, as a conclusion, we can see from the sir's session that central banks have spent to simulate the economic crisis. Many policies and funds has been recommended by many countries and governments, such as what it takes policy in India, anti-coronavirus crisis fund in Russia, and coronavirus support fund in Australia, with many other fiscal measures announced by central banks and many other monetary measures time to time has been announced by many countries. Here, now I would like to invite our session's last guest speaker, Dr. Mola Anshaw from Ethiopia. Let me introduce him. Dr. Anshaw is the program coordinator in College of Finance and Development for Ethiopian Civil Services University. He is MBA in Public Management and also knows languages Oromo and English. He is also the Management Consultancy Trainer and was the chairman, participated in Bravian's Handley Committee by admin staff and was also the member in many programs. Sir has also been worked for Gambler Trade and Industry Bureau on various administrative positions. Here, I would like to warmly invite Dr. Anshaw from Ethiopia to share his views and opinion in this today's webinar. Yes, sir, you are audible.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir, you are now clearly audible.
Are you reading me?
Yes, sir, you are now clearly audible.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Hello, are you listening?
Yes, sir, listening.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank
Sir,
you
you are
very much.
audible.
This is Mr. Tasfaye. I would like to correct the facilitator. I am not a doctor. Actually, I'm Mr. Tasfaye from Ethiopian Civil Service
Okay, it's
University
okay. It's okay, sir.
Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. So now I will not take much of your time. I will take 3 or 5 minutes to present my part. So, and I would like to thank the organizer of this webinar of the global economic, the impact of global economic on economy, of the impact of COVID-19 on global economy. And next, to my side, I would like to thank Dr. Gupta for inviting me just to participate as a resource person to this webinar. Thank you very much. So I would like to present my paper or my part. The global economic impact of COVID-19, confirmed case of the novel coronavirus, COVID-19, which first appeared in China at the end of last year, now exceeds 10 million as June of 2020, and are likely to climb significantly higher. What was initially seen as a larger China-centric shock is now understood to be a global crisis. The extent of the damage will be depend on how quickly the virus is contained and the steps the authorities take to contain it, and how much economics support governments are willing to deploy during the epidemic's immediate impact and aftermath. As COVID-19 spreads, China's economy recovery will be challenged as demand from other countries drops as they cope with the virus. Although the outbreak appears to have slowed in China, COVID-19 and its impact have gone global. Infections are mounting in Europe, South Korea, Iran, and United States, and elsewhere, with authorities implementing increasingly restrictive measures to contain the virus. As well, Europe and China are likely already in the recession territory given their weak fourth quarter performance and highly reliance on trade. While the United States entered to the crisis with tailwind, some analysts are forecasting as contraction in US GDP in the second quarter. Estimates of the global impacts vary. Early last 2 months, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development predicted that COVID-19 will lower global GDP growth by 0.5 of the percentage point for 2020. Regarding the vulnerable sectors at the sectoral level, tourism and travel related industries will be among the hardest hit because the authorities or the governments are encouraging social distancing and consumers stay indoors or lockdown. Similarly, shares of major hotel companies have and entertainment giants like movie producers and different entertainment giants expect a significant blow to revenues. And restaurants, sporting events, and other services will also face significant disruptions. Industries less reliant on high social interaction, such as agriculture, will be comparatively less vulnerable, but will still face challenges as demand wavers. In general, still now, in our world, scientists do not yet have a clear understanding of the virus's behavior, because many scholars are coming up with novel behaviors of the COVID-19, like the transmission rate and the full extent of contagion. Uncertainty will be part of the backdrops for the foreseeable future. Current, coordinated, and credible policy responses provide the best chance at limiting the economic fallout from what is already and sadly human tragedy. So I have this content for this webinar. So thank you very much, the organizer and of this webinar and the facilitator too. Thank you very much. It is very short because I will not take much of your time as the other participants or presenters. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Here, the time to conclude our session of today's international webinar first day. But before concluding it, I would like to welcome our guest of such honor, Professor Hamid Sarimi, sir, from Iran. Let me introduce him. Professor Hamid sir is the Vice Chancellor in Administration and Financial Affairs in Azad University of Iran, Kushan branch, and Head of Professor in Administration and Financial Council of Khorasan in Rezhevi Parikhmat in Iran. Sir is the PhD, MA Economics, MCom, BCom, and BA in Statistics. Sir is also the Research International in Financial Management, Human Resource Management, and Cost Accounting. Sir is the academic and executive experience. Sir has the academic and executive experience of around 31 years and has presented around 75 papers in journals and 40 papers in many conferences. Sir has attended many national and international seminars as key speaker, guest of honor, and chairperson in more than 31 seminars. Sir is also the General Advisory and Editorial Board member in 5 bodies such as Global Business Research Journal, International Research Journals in Dubai, and International Journal for Research in Business Management and Accounting. Sir has published around 5 books and academic. Sir has also been awarded for the Excellent Award for article on rule of ethics in professional accounting and effect on management decision making by Indian Streams Research Journal and International Recognized Multidisciplinary Journal. Here I warmly welcome our guest of honor, Professor Hamid sir from Iran.
Hamid sir, please unmute yourself.
Professor Hamid Sarim sir from Iran, please unmute yourself. You hear me? Ms. Bijlani,
Yes, sir.
I am calling him.
Professor Hamid, sir.
Yes, are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, good evening to everybody. I'm very happy to be among you nice people from my beloved India. And I am very thankful to you people that you allow me to be among you and be with you once again. At the critical time of fighting coronavirus, I express my sincere sympathy for Indian people from my second home and my beloved India and pray for the SPT control and the victory over the virus. I wish SPT recovery to those who are ill. I offer my condolence to the families of the number of people around the world, especially the people of India on the date because of Corona, and wish them patience and good health. Good evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am while thanking Dr. Arun Agrawal, head of the Faculty of Commerce, CSPG College, Sharanpur, UP, India. I hope my spelling is correct. And other organizing of the valuable event that I am sure and believe their effort will have a good result, and I wish them a successful future. I also give great thanks to Dr. Arun Agrawal for inviting me to attend this conference and let me have this golden opportunity to be among you and with you, nice and kind people from my beloved India. I would like to express my pleasure and happiness with the presence of the esteemed leaders and dear guests participating in this seminar. And I would like to welcome this gentleman. I am very happy and proud to meet you all, dear and delegators and guests and esteemed colleagues of mine. And warm welcome to organizer faculty commerce college Honorable Patron Swami Chaminant Saraswati ji and guest chief Professor Tirupati, Chairman UPST Council of the Higher Education India, co-governors of webinar Dr. Mishra, Principal of the college, SS College, and co-convener of the webinar, Mr. Vipshwar Aksha, President of the Noble Activity, and organizing secretary, Dr. Anurag Agrawal, Head Faculty of Commerce, SSPG College, Sharinpur, India, member of the organizing of committee of this conference and others. The coronavirus coronavirus turns the world and takes its toll every day. In my beloved India, my second home, like our country, Iran, a number of people have died. I ask God, grant God's mercy to the dead patients and patients for the family of the deceased, as well as for the healing of the sick. Please pay close attention. Please pay close attention to your health and the health of your family, and deal with the coronavirus and take health advice seriously. The outbreak of new coronavirus, which began in January in China, Wuhan province, has shaken the global system. World politics has seen many global development over the past 10 years. Following the 11th September 2001 attack, the world system was forced to face a security crisis. But with the rise of the ISI, global security crisis have developed. In 2008, again, the whole world faced a financial crisis despite the passage of this the state of the global system has deteriorated rather than improved. Currently, economic indicators are revising. In fact, while the trade war between the United States and China has threatened global economic order in recent years, the world has been waiting for the new global crisis to emerge. Dear guests, honored audience, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to say a few words about the damage done to our society and my country and the whole the world, which is definitely similar to all other countries, including my beloved India, in tragedy caused by the coronavirus. And then I will talk about the effect of corona on the economy, even higher education, and reference to the opportunity and challenges behind the corona. With the outbreak of coronavirus in Iran and other world, the country is facing a very serious crisis these days, and I hope that with the help of the relevant official effort and the people, we will overcome this difficult condition with less damage. Of course, future will be very bright, and we are all into hope. All part of the country should follow the example of doctors and nurses with a clear understanding of their duty and work together to resolve this crisis that has affected the entire lives of the whole world people. Today, all attention is focused on the overcoming the peak of the disease and controlling the prevalence of the coronavirus. But certainly, comprehensive and universal management should be provide a solution for the aspect of this crisis so that we can go through this period with the least damage, because the economy in the post-corona area will face more serious crisis. Corona crisis after the high days show its damage to economy body of whole countries in the sector, in the all sector, in the jobs like the transportation, tourism, business, and so on. With the outbreak of the coronavirus in Iran and the world countries is facing is very serious crisis. It should be noted that more attention should be paid to the platform business and exit from the traditional business, meanwhile small and medium enterprise also account for about 40% of country gross domestic product are at the forefront of the economic pressure caused by corona. They have taken and may even face bankruptcy and closure. It should be noted, however, that the post-crisis economic crisis will not only end the small and medium-sized enterprises, but will also shift to dominance at the level of the large economy enterprises, leading companies in the international trade and macroeconomic structures such as the country's banking and financial system. All these make it necessary for government agency to adopt supervisory policies to several legal entities from the becoming interns by the formatting legal and financial package. The support package must be approved by the country's economic coordination council so that the agency can act quickly. Given the country's economic situations and especially corona's attack on the economy, large-scale surgery in the management structure of the state-owned companies is more necessary than ever, and it may be possible to pave the way for the broad decision based on the comprehensive expertise to overcome, provide this historical twist. Corona has also put the world economy in crisis, with the global economic growth projected to decline by 3 to 2.5 percent In fact, this is the amount that the International Monetary Fund has predicted to be equal to the global recession. At the same time, some international economic organizations have compared the economic crisis caused by corona to the 2009 crisis in Europe, and perhaps worse. All of these information and predictions suggest that corona has severely affected the world economy. Corona has caused economy problem for whole countries. For example, while China's economic growth was estimated at more than 6% by 2020, it has now dropped to at least 5 or less than 5%, an economy that account for more than 15% of the world's economy. Global political crisis, rise of the right rising extreme, the loss of the power of international instruction, and deep problems have also raised many questions about the future of the global system. However, because of these problems, no one has expressed pessimistic interpretations about the future. However, the coronavirus epidemic became a much deeper crisis than expected, and future of the global system became increasingly uncertain. The outbreak of the coronavirus in the developing country will have a major impact on the domestic economy, high inflation, and etc. We will see more damage. Under such circumstances, this cost imposed by the corona epidemic, as well as the resulting reduction in production, could put the economy at a higher inflation and lower economic growth. The loss of some jobs or sharp drop in economic income in some sectors will reduce economic growth, and on the other hand, some other jobs such as health care product, etc., will grow at this time. And health product and health care will be considered more and more important. The corona shock has hit the economy with both supply and demand shock. On the one hand, labor supply has declined. On the other hand, there have been problems with the supply of the raw materials, supply shock. It is no secret that corona has brought with itself many crises around the world, but the art of management is to be able to reduce losses and create new opportunity with expert planning, correct decision making, promote action and immediate action, create solution to crisis. This is the question that many are thinking about. Who will survive the crisis quickly after corona? Who will survive the crisis quickly after the corona? What country will face an economic crisis on the day of corona crisis? Let us go through the very simple question that need to be answered. This is in the context of the fact that in the cyber space, fact and remote are intertwined, and we do not know who is telling the truth and who is lying for his own benefit. Perhaps one of the most abused issue in the state of the world's economy, how the United States, the country, has entered the corona crisis 1 month later, a crisis that could have been prevented much sooner than this, but it was easily overcome due to exclusive demands. In the recent interviews, Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates condemned that the US government for the announcing a state of the emergency over the corona emergency very late due to rising US gross domestic product and many other economy ambition. The supply shock has brought the demand shock. Closing business has led to the reduction in the workforce and the declining household income have reduced demand. Uncertainty about the future, on the other hand, has encouraged the family to make more saving and to postpone the purchase of unnecessary items, which was before was very usually was keeping on buying and buying and buying. Corona resources for the supportive policies are severely limited. The economic effect of the spread of this virus on the business and economic activities in the countries can be examined from the different dimensions. Concerns about the spread of the virus affect the behavior of household. On the other hand, as demand declined, the business, especially small business, are affected by a spread of the coronavirus. However, not all the sector of the company are stagnant. Sections of the economy where government restrictions are imposed to the control and reduce inflation. Sections such as tourism and transport are areas that rapidly affected by the outbreak of the coronavirus. Jobs, especially retailer, are in the recent recession due to restriction imposed by the government on the commercial complex and market or by self quarantining by citizens. Also, with the outbreak of the coronavirus and the people worries about the entering public places such as shops, services, centers, restaurants, cinemas, theaters, and many businesses. They have been reduced in demand and sales of their goods and services. The service sectors and its subdivisions seem to suffer the most damage compared to the other sectors. The urban economy compared to the rural economy, workers compared to the employees, and damageable groups working in the informal urban sector compared to other households. The policy implemented to control the spread of the corona must simultaneously and at the same time examine its economic effect. The main condition for the controlling the corona prevalence was the maximum reduction of unnecessary social interaction during these months. Such leads to the closure of many unnecessary economic activities, which of course impose economic costs and different sections of the economy. In order to get out of the crisis, new solution and creativity must be put on the agenda. Changing the program from presenting the current product and service and new policies to provide service and new product is something that Chinese car companies started by producing mask and disinfection solutions. In the future, by offering new solution for the survival of the company in the future, in the short term, both to mention customers and related strategies and to continue providing services, different solutions to exit the crisis must be on the agenda. It depends on the type of the business and product. In the short term and for the period of 3 months until the severity of the transmissions of the disease decrease, it is better for the company and organization to reduce their internal tensions by arranging their forces in the emergency. Stress, stress such as downtime and alerting audience through the straight social media activity began to provide offline or on-site services as well as online stores and launch or stringent application to manage the market in the short term. The dimension and the compensation of the market activity and development in the area that do not require foreign trade, such as agriculture, clothing production, textile, such as bags and shoes, pharmacological and food or other opportunity that can be exploited in the post-corona potential. The global economy will change so much during the after corona that some experts say the world before corona will be completely different from after corona. So we should make ourselves ready for after corona and be empowered and make ourselves ready to begin a new life. The word energy, the words engineering must change completely after Corona, with the world official at the United Nations and the International Monetary Fund believing that a deep recession will follow after Corona. Some say it will be deeper than the 2008 recession. Should the current state of the government prioritize health and sacrifice the economy, or vice versa, or have a middle ground for the both economic management and health management to get past corona? Certainly, human health is one of the basic principles, and we are responsible for every single person, rich and poor, no problem, rural or urban, young or an old. And the first priority is to maintain the health of the people. But economic issues are so important because if the country is not properly managed, the health and life of the people will be seriously damaged. Social and economic issue become security, social and economic issue, and diamond becomes politics. We have we have a special situation in the current time of the corona and after that, especially after this corona, which is directly related to the people and the economy. The optimal point is to have a plan and approach that both health is controlled at the earliest opportunity and the economy and the conditions between the during and after corona are controlled and we achieve our goal. Everyone should give each other the deadlines. Banks should increase the deadline for the receiving checks and installment of facility. This will be this will be some possibility of an opportunity to given to customer and people to find themselves. Let's avoid the corona crisis at the lowest cost. The government should provide free assistance to the needy, and lending alone will not solve the problem. In the current situation, many companies have put telecommuting at the top of their agenda in the in order to maintain the distance between their employees and the company with the recommendations of the board health organization and regional health organization. Although this action is effective in some activities, telecopying and working distance, working at home for the office is not possible in many activities, I think, including production. Therefore, it is predicted that this virus can directly affect the productive sector of countries because we can do this service production, giving service on distance and by sitting at home and working for office, but for the productive factories, it is difficult. Companies that really on the commodity affected area goods will not be able to easily change their supply sources. So they will face many disturbance to the supply of the good. The virus is expected to directly affect the country's manufacturing sector. Coronavirus can affect the global economy through three channels. First, direct impact on the production. First is direct impact on the production. China's production has so far been shut down in the Hubei province and some other areas. Some other countries are witnessing the same effect as the similar measures. The slowdowns in the economic growth in China has also affected export. According to World Bank, China, Korea, Korea, Japan, and other global countries are the largest sources of the import. So even without widespread of the disease, these areas are likely to see economic growth decline in the first half of the 2000s. What value chain and the market? The second one is value chain and market distribution. Many manufacturing companies are dependent on the imported goods from China and other countries that are struggling with disease. Also, many companies are dependent on the sale of goods in China. Declining economic activity and transportation concentrated in the country affected will likely affect the production and profitability of the certain global companies, especially manufacturing and raw material used in production. Companies that depend on the commodity affected area goods and cannot easily change their source of supply will therefore experience this severe disruption in the supply of the goods and equipment due to the rapid spread of the disease. Meanwhile, small and medium-sized enterprises are finding it more difficult to survive. In addition, businesses that are tried to travel and tourists and are facing losses unlikely to be offset. Third, economic impact on financial institution and markets. Temporary disruption in the import of imported or manufacturing goods may affect some financial institute or firm, especially those with insufficient liquidity. Market trader cannot predict with an institution or firm is on rebel in this situation, thus eliminating the possibility of predicting the course of the business and how they will react. On the other hand, significant financial market disruption may increase the concerns among the contractor. Another possibility is that bond and stock market will fall because investors prefer to stop investing because of the uncertainty created by the corona outbreak section. Despite the difficulty of the scenarios, despite the difficulty of predicting the future of the business, it is impossible to deal with them without drawing up different scenarios and without planning for the future. The following potential scenarios are merely descriptions of possible pathways in the course of the disease outbreak and the economic situation that may occur depending on the approach adopted and the course of the disease. The worst part of the security is over. One of the scenario is that the worst part of the story is over. The transmission of the disease is now reduced in China and other countries. And China economy is returning to normal, as well as some other countries. Their economy is hopefully is returning to normal, although the incidence of the disease has not yet decreased in other countries, and the virus will have the negative economic effect on the world economy. Some countries did not have a good economic situation before the spread of the coronavirus as well as the economy. These countries did not have broad connection with the global economy. I mean those countries which are not connected with the global economy. It cannot be said that economy decline of this country will lead to the economy of decline of the world. China's GDP in the first quarter of 2020 was quite hard, but the second and third quarter it could mention its balance, although some of the last products will never be replaced. Certain companies outside of China experience short-term disruptions in their supply chain, but its impact on the global economy is small and temporary. Year after the virus, the prevalence of the disease has decreased in China, but it is spreading to other parts of the world. The spread of the disease required a reduction in the rate of the production in infected area, and it's in global world. It means disrupting different area and different industry in order to control the disease. The overall impact of this on economy activity could show a slow global growth. Entrepreneurs who can change their supplier and have enough cash to save and know and low sale period and low income will enjoy a competitive advantage. Universal global response economic centers around the world are exposed to horn-style closures. Coordinated decision in the countries can affect the movement of the people and the movement of the good. As business with the international supply chain can only operate under a specific condition and possibly and with lower productivity, global production is declining, lower productivity, global production is declining, tourism and related business are falling sharply and affected areas are suffering. It will take more than a year for the World Health Organization and United Nations to put an appropriate and approved global response to their agenda. Universal goal response economy around the world are exposed to the Wuhan-style coordinate decision. As a business with the international supply chain, it will take more than a year for the whole. Delay in the shipping and production, financial crisis. Now is financial crisis. Delays in the shipping and production plan create financial problems for the company that have heavy debt, especially in the United States. Decline in the bond market and change in the behavior of trader. Decline in the bond market and change in the behavior of the trader affect investment situation. Concern about the risk of other party or contractors increase and reduce liquidity in financial market. Central banks are trying to manage the problem. Global financial and economic markets are experiencing an economic crisis after the virus shaped a recession, and it is to be hoped that the world will return to normal after a short period of the time, situation that may be very different from current situation, and how whose actors are changed. Therefore, with the descriptions and the condition mentioned in the category of the globalizations and the stopping the follow of the free market economy, it is predicted that countries will show more interest and tendency to stringent national foundations and increase the sense of the nationalism, to have serious tendency to supply the supply chain themselves, manage, recover, and downline. Therefore, while responding, the economy special attention should be paid to establishment and strengthening the production, industrial, and agricultural centers, conversion industrial in the services and trade sectors, so that both the important issue of employment is solved, means reduced, and economic collapse is prevented. It also seeks to improve GDP. Therefore, governments must establish a balance between health and livelihood in their economic policies. This means that centers of the production and work are not open and do not neglect the health of the people. In such a strategic product will be of the focus at the forefront of which the food industry will play an important role in the ensuring food security, and production of medical supplies and equipment will be key to ensuring health and prevention by emphasizing jobs creation. Stability will be priority in meeting other public needs, compensating for the defect and the shortage of inventory in the warehouse goods, and organizing the infrastructures. The important point, however, is to pay attention to the agriculture sector in the context of the coronavirus, which guarantees both food and even medicine security of the countries and puts direct and depends employment in the orbit. In the end, while giving many thanks to all of you, dear ones, let us pray together and pray to God Almighty to restore and return and grant health, happiness, prosperity, and peace to all of the people of the world and nation. Thank you very much, and thank you so much of giving such a golden opportunity to me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You covered all sectors of global economy.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
Bilali.
Thank you to everybody. I wish you all the best. Take care and be happy and be healthy, and we will see you in the future.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
Same
very
to you, sir.
Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Continue.
Thank you,
Let
sir.
us going to leave the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Hamisa, for your kind address. Here, before inviting Mr. Vishneshwar Acharya sir, the co-convener of this international webinar, I would like to inform that this 2 days international webinar session will be continued tomorrow by 4:15 p.m. here. Lastly, I would like to invite Mr. Visheshwar Acharya from Nepal, the co-convener of this international webinar, Sir is the founder cum president and CEO of Novel Academy, Pokhara, Nepal. Sir has attended Sir has attended as resource person in 5th International HR Summit in 2018 organized by GHS and IMR India. Sir was also attended as a keynote speaker in British Council Partner Schools Global Network in UK, as well as Lion Leadership Cap conference held in 2017 in Colombo, Sri Lanka, and various such programs. Sir has also been traveled in many countries across the world like USA, UK, Spain, France, Switzerland, Germany, and many more. Yes, I would like to invite Mr. Visheshwar Acharya sir from Nepal for the vote of thanks of our today's session. And lastly, I am handing over this session to the convener of this webinar, Dr. Anurag Agrawal sir. Dr. Bisheshwar sir.
Thank you so much, Master of Ceremony, for this webinar. सबसे पहले मैं स्वामी सुखदेवानंद सरस्वती के चरण वंदना के साथ आज का धन्यवाद मंतव्य शुरू करता हूँ. I don't have very good Hindi, but I tried it. Thank you so much once again. Respected Chair, Dr. A.K. Mishra. He's the principal as well as webinar convener. Chief guest for this session, very highly eminent Professor J.C. Tripathi. My colleague and my friend, through we can collaborate this session, Secretary of the college, Dr. Anurag Agrawal, organizing committee, eminent speakers from academia, dear colleagues, participants, dear students from SSPG College, and my dear students from Noble Academy. Very good evening and namaste. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor to represent my college, Noble Academy, Pokhara, Nepal, and I'm equally grateful to be the co-convener of the international webinar to this August gathering of dignitaries, academicians, researchers, and my dear students. Noble Academy is a pioneering institution in Nepal with A-level from Cambridge University to technical higher level of education in health sciences, BSc Nursing, B Pharmacy, BBA, and MBA programs affiliated to Purvanchal University, Nepal. As the world is facing unprecedented challenges by COVID-19, every organization needs to think for a strategy. As rightly captured by the theme of this webinar, impact of COVID on global economy. It is a great honor to get inspired by late Swami Sukadevananda Saraswati Maharaj, who was the founder of SSPG College, and it was established 64 years ago. I am highly honored to be the under of umbrella of such an eminent figure who received various lifetime achievement awards during his lifetime. As per my understanding of SSPG College is always dedicated to fulfill the ever-increasing need of competent human resources for India. Now on the leadership of Principal Dr. A.K. Mishra and Dr. Anurag Agrawal and colleagues, we are here to extend this to neighboring countries like Nepal. Our young generation is not dreaming big. Mother Earth is crying for next Mother Teresa, next Einstein, and next Jeff Bezos to eradicate poverty and at the same time to build a sustainable development. I remember a quote, when there is a sunshine after the rain, and where you can see the base stars in the dark skies around the world, and we are on the same edge of darkness of Corona, waiting for sunshine or waiting for our stars to shine in dark night. Let us celebrate this international webinar with lots of joy and enthusiasm on learning in unprecedented moment. I am hopeful that the discussions and paper presentations will develop the resolutions relevant not only for the theory, but also the practicing us to move forward to the new normal after coronavirus. The webinar aims at helping the policymakers like us, implementers, together craft a strategy to lead to cultural transformations of an organization that supports continuous improvements. I would like to extend my deepest gratitude with appreciation to Dr. Syed Ahmad Khan from Burmani University, Oman, who has introduced me with Dr. Anurag Agarwal, SSPG College, to collaborate together to jointly organize this much-awaited international webinar. We are highly gratitude with SSPG College family and the principals at the same time. My duties is for the vote of thanks. My sincere appreciation with many thanks to our chief guest, Professor G.C. Tripathi, for his wonderful sharing and wonderful inspirations to all of us in this occasion. At the same time, we have a presenter all the way from international arena, academicians, all the way from Ethiopia, Switzerland, Oman, India, Nepal. I extend my sincere gratitude to Dr. Upendranath Gupta from Ethiopia, Dr. Mario Boris from Switzerland, Dr. C. Sami from Ethiopia, Dr. T.M. Inso from Ethiopia,
Sir.
As well as we have a very honorable guest of honor for this evening, Professor Hamid Sarmei from Iran. Similarly, we have a speaker for tomorrow, Dr. Srinivas Madhavan from Nobel Academy, Nepal, Dr. Ramchandran from India, and last but not least, Dr. Syed Ahmad Khan from Oman, for accepting our invitation to be the eminent speaker for this webinar. We are enlightened with your mesmerizing presentations you made. 4 of our presenters made this evening. Thank you so much for your hard work, dedication, and academic contributions to this webinar. We are truly indebted with you all for your time and contribution to move forward from this coronavirus. We are connected here to build long-lasting partnership between Nepal, India, Oman, Switzerland, Ethiopia, and Iran through academic exchange, sharing our ideas together for betterment of our education delivery at our colleges. Over a decade of despair and darkness has finally been conquered through a stable and two-thirds majority government in Nepal. And education sector needs investment not only in infrastructure, but for the quality manpower as well. And we always look forward to your continued collaborations in the days to come in futures. Education's growth and development in Nepal has no long history. This is almost 50 years. We have been educating our students for the university degree. So this is similar, our first university in Nepal, Tribhuvan University and SS Village College is older than our university in Nepal. So we have to learn so many things from SSPG College and the eminent scholars around the world in this webinar. Let us build a future where our children will be proud of us, that we care for people, planet, and profit at the same time. Our keynote speaker and chief guest this evening was share the same thing. Then I also accept his point. Last but not least, thank you so much once again, Swami Chinmayananda, Professor G.C. Tripathi, Dr. B.N. Gupta, Dr. Syed Ahmad Khan, Dr. Anurag Agarwal, and whole SSPG College, India, for availing these wonderful opportunities as a co-convener for me this evening. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Thank you so much all the participants. We have still 156 participants and many of are watching on YouTube Live. Thank you so much for your contributions, time, patience. Thank you so much once again. And we believe that we again see you tomorrow in the evening at 4:15 p.m. Thank you so much for this time and wonderful listening. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunities. Thank you so much and good night. Have a good time. Namaste.
Thank you, Mr. Visheshwar Acharya ji. Thank you to all resource persons, all participants, and all academicians. We will meet again tomorrow at 4:15 p.m. as per Indian Standard Time. And tomorrow's our resource person will be Dr. Shri Nivas Madhavan from Nepal, Dr. R. Ramachandran from Annamalai University, Tamil Nadu, India, and Dr. Shad Ahmed Khan from Oman, who is the architect of this international webinar. So, once again, thank you to all and good evening to all. We will meet again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good evening and namaste.
Bye. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr. Shad.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Dr. Shad, thank you once again.
Dr. Shad.
It is all
Thank you,
happened
Dr.
because
Shad.
Thank you so
Be
much.
kind. Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
All the people.
Sir,
Mute to all.
Okay.
Thanks to give me this information, sir.
Unmute to all.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Anurag sir.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.